Hi everybody, Miss Panzarella here. Hopefully this is the second video that you are watching from me. The hope was that you watched the intro video that was located on our Launchpad, also known as our virtual classroom. It was the Bitmoji classroom. You had to click on the cat and you watched an intro video. So hopefully you watched that first. That kind of walked you through what that Launchpad is. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our syllabus. If you are in class for A Day, you will have gotten this syllabus. If you are going to be in the B cohort, then you will get the physical copy of this. And the reason that you need the physical copy is that you have to sign and return the safety contract in the back. And the safety contract is related to lab safety. Now, when we're in class, my goal is that we are working on hands-on applications to everything that we're doing. So that's why we're going to do the syllabus kind of discussion in this virtual setting, because realistically, you guys can read through all of this. You do need to read through all of this. All I'm going to do is kind of highlight some key pieces. So just so you know, I do have our standard office hours. However, if you ever need to talk to me, which you should come and see me with questions, I expect you to come and see me. Don't just struggle for days and then not come and see me. That's really counterproductive. If you have a question, I want you to come and ask. So whether that be through an email, a Google Meet, whether we actually see each other, make sure you're using me and your classmates as a resource to get you through any trouble spots, because we're in this together. All right, so expectations. I do expect, kind of as it says, that you fully engage yourself in the discovery process. So I use what is known as the modeling approach, which is really a discovery-based approach to learning physics. So traditionally, like a textbook will just give you a definition, it will just give you an equation, and then it will give you kind of the here's step one, here's step two, here's step three of this one specific example. And then you just kind of blindly follow that. But you don't really learn anything when you're just blindly following steps. So my ultimate goal of this class is for you to build a skill set, one where you are a critical thinker, you're good at problem solving, you're able to say, you know, here's this problem that I have, here are all of my pieces of information, and how can I analyze those pieces of information, work through this puzzle and then form a conclusion or form a decision. And then if that doesn't work, well, I need to go back and analyze, well, what happened in that initial stage? So I really want you to be able to look at different situations, different challenges, really the world around you and say, hey, how can I work through this? And the only way you can work through something is by having those skills and problem solving, critical thinking, being able to look at all the different scenarios. That is something that every single one of you need for your next step. Whether you go to college, the military, the workforce, everything that you're going to be doing is applying what you know. So that is what this course is going to focus on. We're going to have the content, but we're going to focus on using it, and we're going to discover it and then use it. So that's kind of where we're going with the class, and that's why we're going to have a lot of labs, a lot of hands-on activities, a lot of physical motion. So it's a lot of you doing the work and you being the scientist. So I am not the fountain of knowledge where I'm just going to kind of give you everything. You are going to work through the scientific process to get to the end and then use it for really cool things. All right, so we're going to cover a whole bunch of topics. They are down here. Most of these topics, as you can see, are going to involve motion. So how does everything move around you? How does your car work? What happens when you shoot a basketball? So we're going to look at all those different things, and then we have some additional topics if we're able to cover them. As far as cell phone policy, we will talk about this a little bit in class. There will be some apps that you need. They are all free apps, but we are obviously going to be using our cell phones a good amount. My rule, though, with the cell phones is general common courtesy. If you are supposed to be physically interacting with someone, so either I'm talking to you, you're talking to your group member, we are in a discussion, if you're supposed to be having physical interaction, your cell phones shouldn't be out. It's just rude for that to happen. That says that whoever is trying to engage with you, that whatever they're saying isn't that important to you. It's saying that whatever's on your phone, whatever Snapchat you just got, whatever popped up on social media is more important than the person who is attempting to have a connection with you. And I think it's incredibly rude, and it's just not nice. And I don't think that is our goal when we do that, but that's what we say when we look at our cell phone rather than the people who are actually around us. So, general common courtesy that if somebody is trying to interact with you, the cell phones are not out. Okay. So the next piece is probably new. So it's called course netiquette. So etiquette, but on the web. Really read through these, and it's just general, your actions on the web are still valid. They still have consequences, and they still affect people. So this is going to kind of be our guidelines for, how should you be interacting within an email? How are you interacting on discussion posts? And this is kind of an expectation that I do want to draw your attention to. I expect you logging on to Canvas every single day. I expect you checking your email every single day. Regardless of if you are at home or if you are in school, you are still learning. So you are still logging on. You are still doing what you need to do for whatever the activity is, the assignment, whatever it happens to be. So if I put an announcement up, I expect you to see that. Now, what I said was one of the easiest things you could do is have your email or Canvas show up as an alert on your phone. I know that it could alert you saying Alicia Panzarella posted to Canvas. You have everything else kind of sent to your phone as text message, Snapchat, somebody sent you something in Instagram. I expect the educational aspect to be there as well, if you are able to on your phone. I know, not all phones have that capability, but if your phone has that capability, I really do expect that. Unless you're really good about checking your email and getting on Canvas without that. But either way, I expect you to see it. I expect you to stay on top of deadlines. Now, we don't have a textbook. If you want one, I can give you one. It's not going to be super helpful just because, again, of the nature of the course. You can read something in a textbook, but it doesn't really come to life until you actually, engage with that information and experience it. Now, big thing that you absolutely positively must have is your lab notebook. Every single piece of physics, whether it is a do now, a homework assignment, a lab, whatever it is, if it is involving this class, it goes into your notebook. And that means that absolutely nothing else goes into your notebook, because I can and will collect your notebook at any time. I expect that it is updated. So if you had homework that was due by Wednesday, I expect that if I, collect this on Friday, that everything leading up until that Wednesday and that Friday, or I guess Thursday, is done. So stay up to date with everything. Have everything in there. So how should that look? So at the top of your page, so on the top left-hand corner, every single day you say this is the date, so whatever day it happens to be. And I should see Monday through Friday, because you have something to do every day. You are logging on every day. Then activities. So what are you working on? Are you doing a worksheet? Was it a lab? Is it a project? What are you working on? The activity must be there, because we're going to reference things a lot in this class. One of the good and bad things about physics is that it continually builds on itself. At no point can we just say, oh, we're done with chapter 2. I never need to think about it again. That is not how physics works. So, for instance, chapter 4, I don't teach you anything new, or I should say unit 4. I don't teach you anything new. All I do is show you how to combine Unit 2 and Unit 3 to make this new concept. So Unit 2 and Unit 3 never went away. They're going to make something else, and then we're going to use that something else in Unit 5. So it builds and builds and builds. So we're going to go back to different labs. We're going to go back to different activities, and you need to know where that stuff is. Also, when you're turning things in, I need to know what I'm looking at. If you just give me a page and I have absolutely no idea what I'm looking at, I can't give you credit for that. And then the learning goal will be given to you with whatever activity you're doing, so that will kind of be given. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to see you every day, but you're still going to be doing work. So oftentimes you are going to do work in your notebook, and then you are still going to submit it via Canvas. But what you're going to do is have everything in your notebook. You're going to take a picture of your work, and then you are just going to paste it into a Google Doc. So this is just an example that someone had. Now notice that everything is very clear. I can see everything. This is very easy to look at. Remember that I am trying to view your picture on this screen. If it's blurry, if it's tiny, I can't read that. So make sure that it is very clear and very visible, because again, if I can't read it, if I don't know what you're trying to tell me, then I can't give you credit for that. So just kind of be aware of that fact. So those are the two things. Every day, this is how you set up a brand new page in your notebook. And then when you have to submit to Canvas, snap a picture, put it in a Google Doc, send the Google Doc to me. All right, so some of the rest of this stuff you can go ahead and read through. You may have labs at home, or I should say you are going to have labs at home. Some are going to just involve physical motion. Some you will use your animals if you have them. I had a really cool one with cats last year. So here are some of the potential materials that you could need. If you need any of these materials, please tell me when you are in school, and I will send you home with them. Or I can send you home with a whole kit if you don't have access to some of these things, or you don't have the ability to get them. That is totally fine. I will send you home with whatever you need. You just need to tell me. All right, grading policy, you can read through that. We are total points. I am not percentage, so just so you are aware. And then there are different types of exams that you can have. Do note that one type of an exam that we're going to have is a lab practicum. They occur at the end of every unit, and it is a lab style assessment. So you will use all of those skills that you got while doing all of those lab activities, and then you're going to actually apply them within a lab assessment. You can read through that there. Make sure that you do read through that. Again, here are some assignments to expect. Again, I can collect notebooks at any time. Super duper important. Quizzes. If you take a quiz in class, there will be a version 2. It's because sometimes, you know, we think we know what's going on when we go into a quiz, but it turns out maybe we didn't know it as well as we thought we did. Maybe we just had a misconception that we didn't quite get away. So if you are in class to take the quiz, there will be a version 2. If you are not in class, meaning I sent you home with it, so it was a take-home quiz or an online quiz, there will not be a version 2 since it will be open note. So just so you are aware of that. And then kind of there's the key points on the grading scale is you will have a test and a lab practicum at the end. And then these final pages, you will just sign saying, hey, you acknowledge that we do have to be safe in the lab. And then that will be signed by both you and a parent or guardian. So that is kind of the overview of our syllabus. Make sure that you do read through all of this and then take the quiz at the end. And then there is also a follow-up introductory survey that you will take as well. So that will kind of round out your first day of physics. So welcome, email me, see me if you have any questions. Can't wait to work with you all.